Hi, my name is Cindy Cisneros, certified creativity coach, owner of Creatively LLC, and this is the full tutorial on building your brand for artists. Now, this is part of the Business Basics courses for artists, and there is an article that goes along with this video, and if you want to use them both together, then click on the link for the Business Basics for Artists in my profile. So there are key components, and we're going to look at about 6 of them that are going to go into your brand, which is really how you present yourself out in the world when you are marketing and getting your art out into the world. And what's important about your brand is it's kind of the consistent messaging. It advises the consistent messaging that you're giving when you're talking about yourself as an artist and the work that you do. So when you think about how you're going to put this together, there's going to be visual components, there's going to be written and verbal components, and I want to talk to you about how you can kind of craft this so you can present yourself in a consistent way. So the first thing you want to do when you think about your brand as an artist is think about your artistic identity. And this is going to be made up of your style, and that is going to be defined by the type of work that you do. So for me, I'm a painter. My style is going to be defined by the type of paint that I use. If I'm painting acrylic on canvas, for example, this is going to be part of my artistic style, my artistic identity, the value that I offer, how my work is different from other artists, whether it's my message, my technique, my perspective, and then the audience. So who do I want to connect with my work? Am I looking for galleries? Am I looking for collectors? Is there a general audience that I'm trying to connect with my work? My artistic identity is going to be defined in my brand by my style, my unique value, and the audience that I'm trying to connect with. So take your time to think about those things and how you can represent those things clearly and consistently with your artistic brand. The next thing you want to communicate with your brand is your visual identity. This is really important, especially if you're in the visual arts. But if you're a musician, you still want to communicate with a sense of style, perhaps, or color palette, or even font selection, the stylistic choices that you're making with your work. So you may want to have a logo for yourself. You may put your font out with your name on it in a particular way, but you're trying to communicate your personality. You're trying to consistently communicate those things about yourself with a visual identity that is going to include things like your color palette, the font that you're using in your marketing, and or a logo. Now, when you are putting marketing out into the world, whether it's print or whether it's online, you're going to want to consistently represent yourself through your branding. So for example, if you have a website or social media or email, you're going to want to continue to use things like font choices or color choices in a way that consistently represents your values, your style, your content, the messaging that we've talked about so far, clearly and coherently. People, wherever they find you, whether it's in person, whether it's electronically, whether it's on paper, they want to get that same taste of you over and over again. So if you have a clear sense of who you are, how you are representing yourself and your creativity, you want it to show up that way again and again. People can really kind of fall in love with you. Now, this next point is one of my favorite ones, and maybe the most important, I think, when you're thinking about your brand as an artist, and this is to craft your story. So your brand is about what you create, but it's really also about what advises what you create. It's about who you are, why you make what you make, and it helps people connect with you and your work on a deeper level. So you might have an artist statement that you've written at some point that really kind of encompasses your journey overall into making art. You may have a story about your life. That's some sort of a journey that talks about why you make art the way you do. There may be a behind the scenes about your process. If you have a particular body of work you're working on right now, or there was a body of work before that, or there's one coming up, how do all of those connect? What is it that defines the content of your work. You may have had a blue period, a red period, a green period, but overall, the body of your work can be defined by your personal story and your artist identity. And this is a really important part of your brand that you want to represent with all those other components. But this is what is really going to draw people to you. What is your story? Now, once you have all of these things defined thoughtfully, carefully, clearly, you want to engage with people. You want to share it. And this is going to be part of marketing too. But again, you want to be clearly and consistently communicating your brand through networking, collaborations, and engagement. And I've used the word consistent. You want to be consistent. But also that consistency is going to do its best work when your brand is authentically representing you. So keep it authentic. And if you feel like you've kind of gotten carried away or lost in the sauce somewhere, come back to, is my brand authentically representing me? And the last thing is, your brand can evolve over time. So don't feel too much pressure that the first time you develop your brand, it has to be perfect forevermore. It has to be right for you for right now. And allow yourself that just as you evolve as an artist, just as your art business is going to evolve, your brand can evolve over time too. So I hope this was helpful. And if you need continued support on how to develop your brand and how your brand is a part of your marketing, please reach out for additional support and coaching.